There comes a moment in our journey when something once cherished slips away, when we stop being intimate with someone, whether by choice or circumstance. We often feel an immediate jolt in our emotional landscape. It can stir up questions about our worth, our place in this world, and even our sense of identity. But let us begin by recognizing that this shift, this pause in physical closeness, can be a catalyst for a deeper, more profound understanding of who we are. My friend, I invite you to see this interruption of physical intimacy not as an ending, but as a sacred pause. A space is being created, one in which you can learn about yourself in ways you might never have considered before. Sometimes, in the hustle of shared experiences and the comfort of familiarity, we lose sight of our own needs. We forget the gentleness we owe ourselves. We overlook how our emotions quietly shape our well-being and our life path. Take a moment to sense the energy within you right now. Notice any tension in your body, perhaps a tightness in the chest or a flutter in the stomach. Acknowledge that these feelings simply wish to be heard. When intimacy ends, it's natural to feel confusion or heartbreak. And yet this moment can be so much more than a painful memory. It can be the start of a journey inward, one that allows old wounds to be seen and gently healed. Let this be your invitation to explore the layers of your own heart. Within these layers lie hidden truths about how you love, how you yearn to be loved, and the fears that sometimes block that love. If sadness or frustration rises, hold it as gently as you would hold a tender child. There is no need to judge your emotions. They arise to guide you into deeper self-knowing. Over the coming moments, we will unravel the emotional patterns at play and examine the energy we exchange in intimate connections. We'll illuminate the power of boundaries, the gift of self-compassion, and the surprising ways that stepping away from closeness can encourage a blossoming of the soul. Keep an open mind, for what appears to be emptiness can bloom into a state of radiant clarity. Yes, it may feel unsettling to stop sharing such a personal bond with someone. But remember, the universe works in subtle ways. When one door closes, your inner self often opens. Today, let your heart breathe. Let your spirit stretch into the space that has been freed. Welcome every emotion, every tender ache, and every spark of hope. In doing so, you set the stage for remarkable growth and a renewed sense of wholeness that goes well beyond any single relationship. As we step further into this chapter, you may notice unfamiliar feelings stirring inside. It's as though a tapestry of emotions, woven from shared experiences, whispered confessions, and tender exchanges, has suddenly started to unravel. This unraveling can feel both liberating and disorienting. One moment you might find yourself missing the closeness you once had. The next moment you might sense relief at the newfound space in your life. It's perfectly natural for emotions to fluctuate like waves, rising and falling with their own rhythm. The end of physical intimacy can trigger memories of comfort and security, which may cause you to feel a pang of regret or longing. Yet at the same time, this change can also highlight the parts of you that have yearned for more freedom or self-expression. All of these feelings are valid. All deserve a compassionate welcome. Approach your emotions with curiosity rather than judgment. If a wave of sadness passes through you, allow it to wash in, acknowledging that it arrives to tell you something important about your past and your present. Just as a child might tug at your sleeve to gain attention, your feelings tug at your heart, urging you to look within and offer care. The key here is kindness, gentle, persistent kindness, directed first and foremost toward yourself. Perhaps you've been reading about how emotions, when unexpressed, can lodge themselves in the body, creating knots of tension or unexplainable fatigue. This mind-body connection suggests that holding on to emotional pain can affect more than just our mood. It can impact our overall health, our ability to focus, and our capacity to invite joy into our lives. By allowing your emotions to surface and by giving them the empathy they deserve, you can begin to restore balance and harmony within your entire being. You might wish to try a brief exercise. Close your eyes, place a hand over your heart, and speak gently to yourself, aloud or in silence. Say something like, "I honor every feeling that arises. I trust that each emotion has a lesson to teach me." Take a few slow, deep breaths and imagine each exhale releasing tension, guilt, or fear. With each inhale, welcome a sense of calm, inviting it into every corner of your mind. Remember, emotional unraveling is not a sign of weakness. It is an invitation to heal and transform. Just as a sweater can be unraveled to repurpose its yarn into something new and beautiful, the threads of your emotional experiences can be gently reworked into a more resilient version of you. There is no rush. Embrace patience. Through patience, you allow yourself the grace and time needed to truly understand each thread, each emotion, and ultimately to weave a new tapestry of self-awareness and inner peace. Beyond the surface of our physical world lies a network of subtle energies that connect us all. When we share intimacy, emotional, spiritual, or physical, we exchange these energies. Over time, it can feel as though invisible threads unite us, carrying both our compassion and our unresolved feelings back and forth. When intimacy ends, these threads don't immediately disappear. They linger, holding remnants of our shared experiences, our longings, and our fears. In recent self-help discussions, there's growing awareness around what some call cord cutting or energy clearing practices. The idea is that when a relationship or intimate bond changes, it can be helpful to consciously release any energetic attachments that no longer serve your highest good. Imagine these bonds as ribbons, gently connecting your heart to the other person's. By acknowledging them and choosing to set them free, you clear space for your own healing and growth. However, this process is not about rejection or anger toward the other person. It's about compassion for yourself. You may choose to do a simple visualization. In a quiet moment, close your eyes and envision yourself standing in a field of golden light. Notice any subtle connections between you and the person you've parted ways with. Gently, with love in your heart, untangle or cut these energetic ribbons, releasing them to be healed by the light surrounding you. Then, offer a moment of gratitude for the lessons learned, the joy shared, and the opportunities for growth born from the relationship. Remember, letting go of energetic ties does not mean erasing precious memories or denying the bond you once had. You are simply choosing to retain your own energy, to stand in your own power. By doing so, you reaffirm your right to emotional freedom. It's a loving step that honors what was, while also making room for what can be. Some people notice immediate shifts after such exercises: a lighter feeling in the chest, a calmer mind, or an unexpected sense of relief. Others find it takes consistent practice as fresh layers of emotion emerge. Both experiences are valid. This journey is not a race, it's a gentle unfolding, much like a flower blossoming petal by petal under the sun. If at any point you feel hesitation or resistance to releasing these ties, be patient with yourself. Honor the complexity of your connection and the depth of your emotions. The simple act of awareness is a powerful starting point. By unveiling and acknowledging the unseen threads that link you to another soul, you empower yourself to discern which connections nourish you and which ones you're ready to release. Through this process, you're laying the groundwork for a life shaped by loving intent, free from emotional entanglements that may hold you back from your fullest expression of peace and joy. Without physical intimacy to anchor you, a new question can arise. How do I recognize my own value? When a relationship or an intimate connection ends, it sometimes leaves a gap in how we perceive ourselves. We might have defined part of our worth through another person's touch, approval, or attention. Now is the time to reclaim your sense of self by recognizing that your innate value has always existed independently of external validation. Begin this rediscovery by affirming your inherent worth. You could place a mirror in front of you, look gently into your own eyes, and speak words of kindness. Words such as, I am worthy of love just as I am. I am deserving of happiness, health, and respect. Mirror work can feel vulnerable at first, especially if you've been used to receiving validation primarily from someone else. But know that the love you show yourself in these private, sacred moments can spark a powerful transformation from within. Journaling is another way to reconnect with your sense of self. Write down a few qualities you admire about yourself each morning or evening. Think beyond surface-level traits. Reflect on your resilience, your creativity, your capacity for forgiveness. Let these reflections remind you that your worth is rooted in your essence, not in how another person perceives or treats you. Over time, such practices can help dismantle any limiting beliefs that have quietly whispered, I am not enough. As you strengthen your self-worth, pay attention to how your thoughts shape your reality. If you find yourself slipping into critical or judgmental inner dialogue, pause and gently correct the course. Instead of saying, I feel so empty now, try, I am learning to fill myself up with my own love and compassion. This shift might seem small, but words carry energy, and uplifting words carry healing energy. Recognize that the end of intimacy can be a powerful opportunity to stand more firmly in your truth. Perhaps deep inside, you've always wanted to learn a new skill, explore a creative hobby, or even rediscover dreams you set aside. When your sense of value isn't tied to someone else's approval, you'll find a renewed freedom to experiment with life's possibilities. Above all, celebrate each small step toward embracing your worth. It might be as simple as ordering your favorite meal with confidence, wearing clothes that make you feel radiant, or voicing your needs without shame or apology. Each act of self-celebration expands your heart and invites more self-love into your daily experience. By recognizing your value from the inside out, you position yourself to attract relationships, opportunities, and experiences that mirror back this newfound appreciation. And this is where the true magic lies. As within, so without. When intimacy diminishes or ceases, You may find yourself reflecting on what felt comfortable and what felt invasive in that closeness. This reflection can shine a bright light on the concept of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls meant to keep others out. They are gentle lines drawn to respect your sacred emotional space. They protect your well-being, foster healthier connections, and allow you to move through life with a clear sense of personal freedom. You see, in the flow of close relationships, it's easy to overlook small moments that made us uneasy. Perhaps there were words, actions, or expectations that contradicted your true desires. Now that the relationship dynamic has changed, you can observe these moments from a calmer perspective. Ask yourself, were there times I felt pressure to act against my inner truth? Or did I agree to things just to keep peace? Such questions can guide you toward understanding where stronger boundaries might be needed. Journaling is an effective tool here. Write down situations where you noticed discomfort, whether it was emotional, physical, or mental. Notice any patterns. Maybe you felt obliged to always be available or to compromise your personal needs. By recognizing these patterns, you take the first step toward reclaiming your freedom. Then craft affirmations that embody healthy limits. For instance, you might declare, "I respect my needs and feelings. They are valid and worthy of acknowledgement." Boundaries aren't solely about saying no. They can also involve saying yes to the experiences, behaviors, and relationships that nurture your sense of well-being. This is where personal freedom flourishes. When you embrace what genuinely resonates with you and gently decline what doesn't. By doing so, you honor yourself as a unique being, worthy of respect and care. Remember, it's perfectly normal to feel uncertain or guilty when first establishing new boundaries. People around you might be surprised by your changes, especially if they were accustomed to an older version of you who always acquiesced. Stand firm and be patient with yourself. Each time you uphold a boundary, no matter how small, you reinforce the message that your emotional space is precious. The freedom that comes from healthy boundaries is profound. Instead of feeling locked in a cycle of constant compromise, you create an environment where genuine understanding and respect can flourish. You also clear the path for more authentic intimacy in the future, intimacy built on mutual trust, respect, and the willingness to honor each other's comfort zones. As you grow in boundary setting, you might discover a sweet sense of liberation blooming in your heart. You become the calm observer of your own experiences, discerning which connections uplift you and which ones weigh you down. Through this careful discernment, you hold the key to a more peaceful, wholehearted existence, where your sense of self remains strong and unshakable, no matter how relationships shift or evolve. When physical intimacy halts, unresolved emotions from your personal history often rise to the surface. It's as though the stillness created by the end of closeness allows long-buried hurts to speak. This can feel disconcerting at first, but it's actually a powerful invitation to bring awareness and compassion to parts of yourself that have been longing for healing. We all carry within us an inner child, the younger version of ourselves who craves unconditional love, comfort, and acceptance. Sometimes, in the midst of intimate relationships, this inner child seeks solace through the closeness of another person. When that closeness is gone, old insecurities or painful memories might emerge, revealing where tenderness is needed. It's not a step backward, it's a chance to go deeper. Imagine gently taking that younger self by the hand and saying, "I see you, I hear you, I promise to take care of you now." Forgiveness is another element of healing the past. You might notice resentments or regrets, perhaps for things unsaid or for boundaries that were crossed. Forgiveness does not excuse inappropriate behavior, but it frees you from carrying the burdens of anger and blame. If the thought of forgiving someone feels too big or too soon, start with the intention, "I am willing to see this situation differently." That willingness alone can plant a seed of compassion that grows over time. Healing past wounds also involves extending forgiveness to yourself. You might feel regret for staying too long, leaving too soon, or not expressing your needs clearly. Recognize these feelings without self-condemnation. Speak kindly to yourself, reminding your heart that you did the best you could with the knowledge you had at the time. Each experience, even the painful ones, can become a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and self-awareness. In practical terms, consider blending emotional healing with a physical component. Techniques like gentle yoga or simple stretching can help release tension stored in the body. As you stretch, imagine each inhalation bringing in soothing warmth and each exhalation letting go of bitterness, regret, or sorrow. Visualize these energies leaving your body and dissolving into the earth, leaving you lighter and more at peace. No matter what has surfaced from your past, remember that you have the power to heal. Healing is not a one-time event, but a continuous process of compassion, learning, and growth. Each day you can offer a small kindness to your wounded places, a quiet moment of self-acceptance, a loving affirmation, or a heartfelt conversation where you acknowledge your pain and choose to let it teach you rather than define you. As you move through this profound process, honor the courage it takes to face these memories. Instead of fearing the shadows of the past, shine your inner light upon them. With each layer you heal, you step further into a future filled with clarity, emotional freedom, and the capacity to love yourself and others more deeply than ever before. When intimacy with another fades, it's an invitation to strengthen the most essential relationship you'll ever have, the relationship with yourself. You may find you have more quiet moments now, moments that used to be filled with another person's presence. These moments can be transformed into a sacred dialogue, one where you listen attentively to your own thoughts, fears, and hopes, and respond with the same warmth you would offer a dear friend. Start by paying attention to your inner voice. Is it supportive or critical? If it's the latter, approach it with gentle curiosity. Often, we absorb negative or limiting beliefs from past experiences and replay them without conscious awareness. Notice these thoughts and remind yourself that they are not absolute truths. With patient practice, you can begin to replace unkind inner chatter with words that uplift and nurture. Mindfulness practices serve as wonderful catalysts for this renewed self-dialogue. Even a few minutes of conscious breathing each day can create a spaciousness in your mind. Close your eyes, breathe in slowly, and on each exhale, release a fragment of self-judgment or worry. Over time, this consistent act of mindful release paves the way for clearer, kinder self-talk. You might say, "I am worthy of my own gentleness," or "I breathe in love and breathe out doubt." Next, consider journaling as if you're writing letters to your future self. Describe what you're learning, how you're feeling, and where you'd like to grow. Sometimes putting pen to paper allows subconscious thoughts to surface, revealing hidden desires or fears that could benefit from loving attention. This reflective process also highlights your progress, reminding you that you're continually evolving. Consistency is key here. Cultivating a healthy relationship with yourself doesn't happen overnight, just as forming a strong bond with another person takes time and care. Embrace each interaction with yourself, whether through meditation, a quiet walk in nature, or a few kind words in the mirror, as an opportunity to fortify this most personal bond. When you slip into old habits of self-criticism, gently bring yourself back to love. An added benefit of renewing your inner dialogue is that it often enriches your outer relationships. By learning to respond to yourself with compassion, you set a new standard for how you wish to be treated by others. When you practice honest, kind communication with yourself, it becomes easier to express your boundaries, needs, and feelings to those around you. In this space of introspection, you may feel a blossoming of self-acceptance that transcends any role you've ever played: partner, friend, or caretaker. You move closer to the core of who you are, discovering new depths of inner wisdom and self-respect. And just as a newly planted seed needs regular watering and sunlight to grow, your renewed dialogue with yourself thrives with each gentle word and supportive thought you offer. Physical closeness is just one facet of intimacy, albeit a significant one. Yet when we step away from that specific form of connection, we create space to explore what intimacy truly means. Intimacy can be felt in the shared joy of laughter with a friend, the silent understanding between two people who see each other's hearts, or even in the tender relationship you nurture with your own body and spirit. This is where the concept of love expands, revealing itself as a multifaceted experience that goes far beyond physical touch. Take a moment to reflect on the relationships in your life that feel deeply fulfilling, even without constant physical contact. Perhaps you have a trusted friend with whom you can share your dreams, fears, and silliest moments. Or maybe you feel an indescribable closeness to nature, finding solace in the gentle rustle of leaves or the warmth of the sun on your skin. These experiences remind us that intimacy is rooted in genuine connection, a heart-to-heart resonance that can flourish in countless ways. You might be surprised by how this period of reduced physical intimacy allows your other senses and emotional channels to open up. With fewer distractions, you might notice more subtle forms of affection, a meaningful conversation where you feel truly heard, a handwritten note that touches your heart, or even a quiet evening spent in loving communion with your own thoughts. Such moments can be profoundly intimate, helping you redefine love as an ever-present force in your life, not just an act reserved for romance. From a spiritual perspective, you can view love as an ever-flowing energy that we're all capable of tapping into and sharing. When two people exchange love, whether through words, actions, or mere presence, it's like two bright lights shining together in the vastness of the universe. When intimacy in one form diminishes, it doesn't extinguish your capacity to give and receive love in other forms. Your light remains intact, ever ready to be shared. Affirmations can help you cultivate this broader view of intimacy. For instance, try saying aloud, I am open to the many expressions of love that surround me. By embracing this affirmation, you gently shift your awareness toward the different ways love can manifest in your life through friendship, community, nature, creativity, or spiritual practices. If you feel called to manifest a new romantic relationship, consider focusing on the qualities that truly matter to you: respect, communication, a shared sense of wonder about life. Visualize that connection forming in a healthy, life-affirming way. Envision the joy and warmth you both share, and trust that as you continue to heal and expand your definition of intimacy, you make room for a love that honors your evolving self. In reframing intimacy, you honor the truth that we are all multifaceted beings, capable of profound closeness in countless ways. By remaining open to these diverse expressions of love, you invite richer, more meaningful connections into your life. Connections that nourish your heart and soul from the inside out. After processing the emotional layers, energetic ties, and self-discoveries, you may find yourself standing at a threshold, ready to step into a new chapter of your life. This fresh path forward can be filled with wonder, curiosity, and a sense of lightness that comes from having cleared out old burdens and beliefs. Take a deep breath and notice the possibilities that lie before you, even if they are not yet fully in focus. Let gratitude guide your next steps. Though the cessation of physical intimacy might have felt like a loss, it also opened the door to many lessons. You've learned to honor your emotions, to recognize your energetic exchanges, and to cherish your inherent worth. You've made room for forgiveness, set clearer boundaries, and initiated a kinder dialogue with your own heart. These gifts are invaluable, and gratitude is the gentle reminder that these lessons came at the perfect time in your journey. Consider harnessing the power of manifestation as you move forward. Manifestation isn't about magically getting everything you want without effort, but rather aligning your energy, thoughts, and actions with your deepest desires. Spend a few minutes each day envisioning the kind of life you want to create. Fill that vision with warmth and color. Picture yourself in relationships that honor your boundaries, or in situations where you feel fully alive and appreciated. This daily practice of visualization helps you raise your vibration, attracting what resonates with the loving energy you're cultivating within. Remember, healing and growth are rarely linear. There might be days when memories resurface or doubts creep in, and that's perfectly all right. Honor these moments with compassion, knowing they're part of your continual unfolding. Each dip invites you to revisit the techniques you've learned: mirror work, journaling, affirmations, meditation, and to remember that life's storms don't last forever. Eventually the clouds part, and you step back into the light with more resilience than before. Community support can also be a powerful ally. Seek out kindred spirits, whether through friendships, support groups, or online forums dedicated to self-improvement and spiritual growth. Sharing your journey with others can bring fresh insights and remind you that you're never truly alone in your experiences. We're all interconnected, learning and growing in our own unique ways. Above all, hold on to hope. Hope is the gentle flame that keeps you moving forward, even when the path is unclear. As you step into this new chapter, let hope illuminate the way. Hope in the power of love to transcend pain. Hope in your capacity to heal deeply. And hope in the possibility of forging more authentic, soul-nourishing connections in the future. This moment marks the beautiful crossroads where your past and future meet. Choose to walk forward with an open heart, trusting that life has the capacity to surprise you with joy, wonder, and renewed intimacy. Whenever you're ready to embrace it, each step you take becomes an affirmation of your own courage, your own worth, and your own boundless potential for growth. Take a moment now to look back on all you've explored. You began by acknowledging the emotional ripple that occurs when intimacy ceases. You examined the subtle energy exchanges that linger, and you discovered the power in releasing what no longer serves you. Along the way, you reaffirmed your self-worth, recognized the necessity of healthy boundaries, and took an honest look at old wounds craving your attention. You learned to renew the dialogue with yourself, reframing intimacy as something far larger than mere physical closeness. Finally, you embraced the courage to step into a fresh path, guided by gratitude and the potential for profound transformation. All of these insights create a tapestry woven from the threads of your resilience and your willingness to heal. As you move forward, remember that life is a continuous journey of expansion. Every choice you make, to practice self-love, to set a boundary, to forgive, or to extend compassion, amplifies your capacity to experience deeper and more meaningful relationships in the future. Wherever you find yourself today, know that the healing process is not a destination, but an ongoing adventure. With each sunrise, you have the opportunity to nurture your heart, to speak kindly to yourself, and to view any setback as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. When you feel uncertain or lonely, revisit your affirmations and mirror work, or reconnect with the supportive communities that uplift you. Let's close with a simple but powerful affirmation. I trust that every ending opens the door to a more loving and authentic beginning. Speak these words softly to yourself, allowing them to ripple through your mind and settle into your heart. Feel the warmth of this affirmation embracing you like a gentle, reassuring presence. You are worthy of love, of respect, and of the profound peace that comes from knowing yourself deeply. By consciously navigating the space that follows the end of intimate closeness, you are setting a foundation for a future built on self-awareness, compassion, and genuine connection. This is the essence of true intimacy, being fully present and loving in your relationship with yourself, so that you can offer the same presence and love to others when the time is right. As you reach the end of this exploration, carry with you a renewed sense of hope. You hold within your heart the power to transform challenges into catalysts for growth. You possess the courage to heal even the deepest wounds. And in doing so, you illuminate the path for others, showing them that from the seeds of sorrow, a garden of understanding and love can indeed bloom. Thank you for sharing this journey and for giving yourself the gift of self-discovery. May you continue to walk in light, guided by the promise that every experience, whether joyful or painful, brings you closer to the radiant, loving, and empowered being you were always meant to be.